Imagine being a high and mighty patriarch and getting dragged through the dirt like a sack of potatoes by a merchant kid.
Our MC Jin-Eon has officially run out of patience, holding Ouyang Sang by the neck while the man's sons cry like total simps.
It is the ultimate fall from grace, and honestly, we love to see it. The sons are begging for mercy, but Jin-Eon basically tells them to shut up before he gives them the same treatment. He is not here for the family drama, he is here for justice. He orders a carriage immediately because this circus is moving to a bigger stage. The plan to frame the Yunha merchant group? Yeah, that just blew up in the old man's face.
Jin-Eon explains that this clown really thought he could threaten to annihilate his family and get away with it.
To expose the absolute rot in this system, he decides to head straight to the Rulers Association. He is done playing nice and is ready to file a report that will ruin this man's entire career. Since the association does not have a fancy office and just hangs out at the homes of the top clans, Jin-Eon points his finger at the Moyang clan estate. He leaves his sister Hwa-Eon with a mission to alert the Murim Alliance. If you are going to snitch, you might as well go to the highest authorities possible. The journey begins with the most awkward carriage ride in history. Ouyang Sang is tied up and looking pathetic, actually having the audacity to beg for water. Jin-Eon just stares at him with the coldest indifference you have ever seen. Thirsty?
Maybe you should have thought about that before trying to ruin a whole merchant group, Grandpa.
The silence is broken when some uninvited guests decide to crash the trip.
A group of hired killers known as the Gold-Silver Assassins shows up thinking they are the main characters.
Jin-Eon does not even break a sweat, grabbing one of the survivors to start a little chat. The interrogation is short, sweet, and involves a lot of lightning energy. The assassin is shaking like a leaf as Jin-Eon asks who is paying the bills. It turns out the Ouyang patriarch was the one who signed the checks. Jin-Eon is not surprised, just disappointed in the lack of quality help these days. When Jin-Eon hears the price tag was only 800 niang per head, he actually laughs. Imagine risking your life for the price of a mid-tier sword. He roasts the assassin for being so cheap and mocks the leader for having zero loyalty. It is a total reality check for the hired help. Jin-Eon breaks it down for the guy, explaining that the Orthodox faction is basically a dumpster fire of hypocrisy. These assassins were never going to get paid, they were meant to be silenced by the very man who hired them. The old man wanted to keep his hands clean while others did the dirty work. RMC basically tells the killer that his life is worth less than a snack and he should have trained harder if he wanted a better payout. It is savage, it is cold, and it perfectly highlights how filthy the inside of these noble clans really is. They finally reach the Moyang estate, and the vibe is instantly tense.
The carriage rolls up and the onlookers are absolutely losing their minds.
Seeing a merchant heir dragging a prestigious patriarch like a common criminal is the kind of scandal that keeps the Murim gossip mills running for years. The shock on the guards' faces is worth more than those 800 niang.
Enter Patriarch Moyang Bin, looking confused and probably wondering why his afternoon tea was interrupted by a hostage situation.
He cannot wrap his head around how a kid from a merchant family managed to beat down a top-tier clan leader. The power scaling in this town just hit a major glitch. Jin-Eon does not waste time and drops the evidence like a bomb. He presents the captured assassins and lays out the Ouyang clan's treachery for everyone to see. Moyang Ben is forced to acknowledge that this is a massive crime, and the gravity of the situation starts sinking in for everyone. Ouyang Sang is now bleeding and desperate, trying to play the victim card. He claims that the other patriarchs mocked him so much that he was driven to these extremes. He is literally begging for protection, looking like the ultimate red flag. He wants his peers to save him from the consequences of his own actions.
Moyang Bin realizes this is a PR nightmare and decides to distance the association from this disgrace.
He orders the assassins to be tossed in the dungeon and tries to play the gracious host by offering Jin-Eon a meal. He knows if this spreads, the whole association is cooked. Jin-Eon plays it smart, proposing to deliver the disgraced patriarch to the Murim Alliance. This lets the association keep a tiny bit of honor while ensuring the old man gets what is coming to him. It is a chess move that leaves the other clans with no choice but to agree. During the meal, the conversation takes a sharp turn into mystery territory. Jin-Eon asks about the previous patriarch, Moyang-chu, and gets a shocking answer. It turns out the man disappeared exactly 1 year ago. The timing is a little too perfect for a coincidence. This revelation confirms Jin-Eon's theory about his own reincarnation timeline. Everything is connected, and the long-dormant demonic faction is starting to cast a very long shadow.
Our MC is realizing that the enemies he fought in his past life are much closer than he thought.
He reflects on the insane strength of the monsters from his past life, people who could survive even the 9th phase lightning. He knows that the current peace is just a lie. Something big is moving in the darkness, and it involves strange sorcery and power beyond the heavens. As the dots connect, we see a glimpse of the real threat. The heavenly demon has finally stepped out and is starting a hunt for the legendary Sword King.
The stakes just went from merchant group drama to a full-blown war for the fate of the Murim.
Get ready, because the real hunt is just beginning. You know you have hit the big leagues when the top masters of the world are the only thing people want to gossip about over tea. RMC is just chilling, trying to figure out why the demonic faction is playing hide and seek, while the world is basically on fire. Patriarch Moyang Bin starts spilling the tea on the Blade Emperor, and honestly, the man is a total savage. Apparently, when he heard about the Ouyang clan's massive failure, he did not just offer condolences, he laughed his head off at their incompetence.
The atmosphere was so tense that everyone else was making awkward faces while the Blade Emperor treated the whole tragedy like a stand-up comedy special.
This guy ignores anyone he does not like, which is basically the ultimate power move in this world. As for the other legends, the Sword God has basically ghosted society to go into closed-door training for the last 6 months. Meanwhile, the Sword Emperor is just wandering around like a homeless legend with no fixed address, making him impossible to track down. Then we have the Sword King, who is half-retired and busy playing teacher to a bunch of disciples. But the real spicy talk starts when they mention the Fist King, a man with a temperament so fierce that even the previous patriarch wanted no smoke with him. Jin-Eon is just sitting there with a straight face, listening to the patriarch describe his own past life as if he is some kind of uncontrollable disaster. The patriarch warns him that the Fist King was not exactly the type of guy you grab a beer with easily. The legends say the Fist King used to slap around arrogant Orthodox juniors just for breathing wrong and slaughtered members of the demonic faction like he was clearing out pests. He did not care about your status. If you were a red flag, you were catching hands. Even the young heirs of prestigious clans have had their cheeks clapped by him more than once.
But despite the violent reputation, the patriarch admits the Fist King was actually an upright and principled man who lived a lonely life dedicated to the grind.
Hearing someone call his past self lonely almost makes Jin-Eon crack a smile, but he plays it off by complimenting the food.
It is hilarious watching him listen to his own legend, while everyone thinks he is just a talented young master from a merchant group.
To fix the legal mess the Ouyang clan left behind, the patriarch suggests that Jin-Eon head to the Murim Alliance in person. It is a big move, and the patriarch is basically setting the stage for our MC to walk right into the heart of the martial arts world.
The next day at the Moyang estate, we meet Baek Hank-young, a stoic representative of the Murim Alliance who looks like he has forgotten how to smile.
He is going to be Jin-Eon's travel buddy, and the chemistry is already non-existent, which is perfect for a long trip. Jin-Eon makes sure to secure the bag before leaving, getting a promise that the Moyang clan will protect the Yunha merchant group while he is gone. He also casually drops a request to hunt down the gold-silver assassins, offering to help dismantle them personally. RMC is such a menace that he admits he came prepared to fight the entire Moyang clan if they tried anything funny. He is relieved the patriarch chose the path of wisdom instead of becoming a stain on the floor, and honestly, the patriarch should be relieved too.
Jin-Eon is already planning his next move against the assassins, showing that he is not just a martial artist, but a strategic mastermind.
He is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and the Murim Alliance has no idea what is coming their way. The patriarch watches him leave, realizing that this young master is far more interesting and dangerous than he looks. Jin-Eon and his new stoic shadow take off, leaving a trail of leaves and shattered expectations behind them as they head for the Alliance. 4 days into the journey, and the silence is deafening. These two are so taciturn that they have probably said about 10 words to each other the entire time.
Beck thinks Jin-Eon is just as quiet as he is, which is a vibe, but also incredibly awkward for a road trip.
The silence finally breaks when Beck spots a wicked rogue on the most wanted list just casually walking down the street. He tells the young master to stay back because this guy is a public enemy, but we all know who the real danger in this group is. It turns out the rogue is just bait for a trap set by some bitter warriors who lost their arms to the Alliance leader. They are looking for revenge, but they accidentally pulled a boss fight into their ambush by targeting the group Jin-Eon is in.
These armless wonders are talking big. But Jin-Eon pulls a pro-gamer move and teleports behind them before they can even blink.
He tells them his hobby is beating down cowards who hide in the shadows, and you just know it is about to get messy for these clowns.
While Jin-Eon is busy being a legend, back at headquarters, Chul Myung-go is absolutely losing his mind.
He finds out his teacher ditched him for the Murim Alliance, and the betrayal is hitting him harder than a physical blow to the gut.
Myung-go is so heated he threatens to do something absolutely disgusting in front of the main gate if he does not get his way. He has finished his insane training of 100,000 umbrella swings and is now ready to storm the Alliance just to catch up. This guy is officially the most dedicated and unhinged disciple in history. He identifies himself as a poisonous fox and decides that if his teacher is going to the Alliance, he is going to crash the party too, regardless of the consequences. The ambushers are still trying to process how Jin-Eon moved so fast, but the gap in power is just unfair.
RMC is basically smirking because he finally gets to stretch his legs and remind some losers why you never set a trap for a man who used to be a king.
Beck is just standing there, probably questioning his entire life as he watches this merchant kid move like a god. The Murim Alliance is about to have a very interesting week once this duo finally arrives at their front door. The stage is set for a massive collision between the old legends, the new generation, and an MC who is tired of everyone's nonsense.
If you thought the Ouyang incident was crazy, the Murim Alliance arc is about to be absolute peak fiction.
Chul Myung-go is already on the move, fueled by spite and 100,000 swings of experience. He is not just a disciple anymore, he is a guided missile aimed straight at the Alliance, and he is bringing all that umbrella energy with him. The chaos is spreading, the secrets are leaking, and Jin-Eon is right in the middle of it all, looking like the calmest person in the room. Stay tuned, because when the Fist King's legacy meets the Murim Alliance, there won't be enough bandages in the world to fix the damage. 101,203 swings later, and Myung-go is officially a monster. He is coming for his teacher, and God help anyone who stands between a disciple and his next lesson. The journey continues, the traps are failing, and the hype is real. Jin-Eon is about to turn the Murim world upside down, and we are just here to watch the glorious downfall of anyone stupid enough to challenge him. Imagine being a high-ranking criminal only to get hunted down by a guy who treats beating you up like a side quest. RMC catches this so-called lustful swordsman, and honestly, the only thing lustful here is this guy's desire to catch a massive beating from a pro. Jin-Eon isn't even trying to be polite, mocking the villain's reputation while basically calling him a warm-up exercise. The criminal tries to act tough, but we all know he's just another NPC waiting for his HP bar to hit 0 in the most embarrassing way possible. Baek Hankyung steps in to drop the legal hammer, confirming this creep is a public enemy of the Murim Alliance.
That means the MC has a literal license to kill, and Jin-Eon's smile says he's about to enjoy his work way too much for a normal person. After 3 days of traveling together, this is the first time Beck has seen the MC smile, and it is absolutely terrifying.
Jin-Eon is looking at this wanted man like a kid looks at a new toy he's about to break, and the villain is finally realizing he's in deep trouble. The criminal decides to go for a desperate sneak attack, throwing weapons like he actually stands a chance against a main character.
It's the classic villain mistake, thinking that numbers or gadgets can compensate for the fact that they're basically fodder in a fancy outfit.
Jin-Eon dodges the attack with the kind of grace that makes you want to uninstall life, moving like the air itself. He doesn't just avoid the strikes, he catches the momentum and prepares to send that energy right back where it came from with interest. Talk about a return-to-sender policy that actually hurts. Jin-Eon returns the weapons with such terrifying precision that the villain's goons are getting ventilated before they can even process that they're losing. The precision is disgusting, and the MC is just getting started. Now the villain starts yapping about his specialized training, claiming he's trained a body part that Jin-Eon wouldn't even be able to use. Sir, this is a martial arts manhwa, not a late-night comedy sketch, but Jin-Eon remains completely unimpressed by the weird flex.
The criminal tries to use his secret strength to maim our boy, screaming about effort like he's the hero of his own story.
Spoiler alert, he's not. Jin-Eon looks at this green-glowing secret technique and basically treats it like a minor inconvenience. Even with his ultimate effort, the villain finds himself completely overwhelmed in a matter of seconds. Jin-Eon is moving at a level that shouldn't even be legal, proving once again that if you're not the MC, your secret training is basically just a waste of gym fees. Realizing he's about to become a permanent part of the pavement, the villain pulls the most pathetic move in the book, surrender. He suddenly wants to go to the Murim Alliance and even offers to snitch on his buddies just to save his own skin. Talk about a red flag. The villain is literally begging now, trying to sell information like he's a black market dealer.
He thinks his life has value because of what he knows, but he clearly hasn't been paying attention to the kind of person Jin-Eon actually is. Jin-Eon drops the coldest line of the day, reminding the trash that he isn't actually a member of the Murim Alliance.
Since he's not a cop, he has zero obligation to accept a surrender or keep a snitch alive, and he's more than happy to finish the job.
One swift execution later, and the world is officially down one creep. Baek Hankyung watches the whole thing and honestly just goes along with it, agreeing that the guy deserved to die. With the trash cleared out, the two decide it's finally time to find some decent food. As they head out, the atmosphere shifts from murderous to starving real quick. It's funny how these guys can end a life and then immediately start debating where to get the best noodles, but that's just the daily grind for a high-tier martial artist. Over dinner, Baek finally admits he had his doubts about the rumors of a merchant heir defeating the Ouyang clan patriarch. Seeing Jin-Eon's skills firsthand has cleared up all those doubts, and he's now officially a fanboy of the MC's sheer violence. Baek is so impressed that he tries to recruit Jin-Eon into the Murim Alliance, promising that they value skill over family background. It's a classic recruitment pitch, but Jin-Eon listens with the same I don't care energy he brings to everything else in life. Baek starts roasting the Rulers Association, calling them mercenaries who have zero loyalty and scatter like autumn leaves when things get real. It's some top-tier shade, but he's about to find out that talking trash in a crowded inn is a great way to start a fight. Right on cue, an elder from the Rulers Association takes offense to the autumn leaves comment. He's looking all sophisticated with his fan, but you can tell he's just waiting for an excuse to show off his ego. The tension in the room just spiked to maximum levels. The elder reveals that his name is literally autumn leaves, making Baek's previous insult incredibly awkward. It's like calling someone trash and then realizing their name is actually Mr. Trash. The MC just sits there eating while the adults have a passive-aggressive standoff. The elder asks if they're heading to the Dragon Phoenix tournament, which is basically the Olympics for people who like to hit each other. It's the most prestigious event in the Murim world, but our MC initially treats it like a complete waste of his precious time. Jin-Eon gives a deep speech about how true fame should come naturally through strength instead of some organized contest.
It sounds very noble and cool, until you realize he's just being a lazy genius who doesn't want to deal with the paperwork of a tournament.
The elder mentions that the winner gets a top-grade elixir, and Jin-Eon's personality flips faster than a pancake. Suddenly, he's the tournament's biggest fan. His greed is the only thing stronger than his martial arts, and honestly, we love a relatable, money-hungry king. As they approach the Murim Alliance gates, the elder decides to be a petty child and kicks up a massive dust storm just to annoy them. It's the martial arts equivalent of splashing someone with a puddle while driving, and Jin-Eon is definitely not going to let that slide. Insulted by the petty display, Baek and Jin-Eon decide to turn the trip into a high-speed mobility race. They want to prove that the Murim Alliance doesn't just have better morals, but also better engines. The hype is real as they start blurring across the landscape. The elder is pushing himself to the absolute limit, trying to uphold the honor of his association, but he's basically racing against two Ferraris while he's on a bicycle. He's sweating bullets while Jin-Eon looks like he's barely breaking a sweat. They're flying through the terrain, leaving the elder's true mobility arts in the dust.
It's a total ego crush for the old man, who really thought he was the fastest thing on two legs.
The age of the boomers is over, the era of the monster MC has arrived. The race reaches its climax right at the gates of the Alliance, with everyone watching the spectacle. The elder is huffing and puffing, trying to claim he won, but everyone with eyes can see he got absolutely smoked by the two younger guys. Even with his head start and petty tricks, the elder is forced to face the reality that he's second best. Beck is laughing his head off, and the MC is just standing there looking bored, which is the ultimate way to disrespect an opponent. The Murim Alliance leader himself is watching from the balcony, and he doesn't miss a single detail. He identifies Jin-Eon as the undisputed victor of the race, marking our MC as the man to watch in the upcoming tournament. The hype train has officially left the station. Finally, we get to see the big daddy of the Murim Alliance, Dokgo Han, and he already knows our boy Jin-Eon is the merchant heir who turned the Ouyang patriarch into a total joke. This legendary old man is actually interested in seeing Jin-Eon flex his muscles at the upcoming Dragon Phoenix tournament, throwing out some fake luck wishes like he is not planning something devious. Meanwhile, poor Baek Hang-kyung is having a mental breakdown because he was told he was the slowest one during the journey, realizing why Yunwal was just trolling him by conserving stamina. It turns out Yunwal was just testing his opponents like a true tactical genius, while Hang-kyung was out here running for his life like a total simp for speed.
Jin-Eon is out here being the most unbothered king in history, basically saying that hiding your true power level is just Murim 101 and people need to stop crying about it.
We transition to the main hall where the Alliance leader kicks everyone out just to have some quality one-on-one time with Jin-Eon to see if the kid is actually built different. As he walks toward that seat of power, Jin-Eon reflects on the leader being a savage commander who personally dragged the strongest warriors into the brutal battle of the Five Tombs.
This guy is a living legend who commanded every orthodox sect, making him the ultimate boss that you definitely do not want to catch a glare from.
Jong-han looks at Jin-Eon and basically tells him he is way too stern for a kid, claiming he prefers juniors who act their age so he can actually feel comfortable. Then comes the million-dollar question as the leader asks if Jin-Eon is the successor to the legendary Fist King, wanting to know exactly how many secret techniques he managed to learn. This old fox used his massive brain to deduce the connection because our boy uses lightning energy, and after ruling out every other clan, only the Sect of Enlightenment was left.
Jin-Eon officially confirms he is the Fist King's legacy, making the leader realize that fate has brought them together in the most dramatic way possible.
The leader starts yapping about how lightning users always have this domineering aura, wanting to become a lone bolt that tears the heavens apart like a total edgelord. When asked how his master is doing, Jin-Eon drops the bombshell that all contact has been cut off forever, which is the most cryptic way to say the old man is probably ghosting the world.
This news has the Alliance leader shaking in his boots because he fears the vanishing of martial masters means the demonic faction is about to start some fresh drama. He spills a dark secret about the last war where the realm's strongest masters felt absolute despair while fighting against just one nameless grandmaster from the demonic side. It was a total nightmare where the three gods and one saint had to jump one guy, which is honestly the biggest red flag for the future of the Murim. The leader tells Jin-Eon to grow overwhelmingly and even selfishly strong for the sake of the future, while promising that the disgraced Ouyang Sang is going to rot in a dungeon.
Jin-Eon asks the real question, wondering if that demonic monster actually died, and the answer is a total horror story about burning him and scattering his ashes across 5 different mountains. Walking away, our boy realizes the Alliance leader is just a monster forged by the times, concluding that the entire Jianghu is just an Azura's realm of mutual slaughter.
He sees that the opposite of the demonic faction is not justice, but just another form of a monster, and he might not be any different when things get real. Hang-kyung tries to be a good little subordinate by leading Jin-Eon to a luxurious lodging outside the Alliance, having requested a sunny room for his precious rest. To their absolute shock, they find Chol Myung-go already lounging in the room like he owns the place, having tracked Jin-Eon down by checking every single inn in the area. This absolute madman proudly declares he has finished his 10,000 swings and is ready for the next step, proving that stalker energy is the strongest martial art of all. Myungo is out here complaining about how he barely slept while Jin-Eon was living it up in the Alliance, but he still found the exact room like a poisonous fox on a mission. He is a man who keeps his word, and now that he is here, the real chaos is finally about to begin. He crossed mountains and rode ships just to ask what is next, showing that his dedication to the grind is actually borderline psychotic.
With the poisonous fox finally back in the mix, the Dragon Phoenix tournament is about to become a literal bloodbath.
Our boy Myungo finally finished his 100,000 swings and he is looking like he actually achieved enlightenment, or maybe he just needs a nap. He is acting all high and mighty because he is a man of his word, but we all know he is just glad the torture is over for now. The poisonous fox has officially arrived at the Murim Alliance and he is already demanding his next lesson like a spoiled brat. He is lucky his teacher has the patience of a saint because I would have kicked him back down the mountain 5 minutes ago. Baek Hangkyung leads the squad to a secluded training spot that is basically the Murim version of a private VIP gym. It is peaceful, spacious, and perfect for some high-level cultivation without any thirsty extras trying to steal their secrets. After the old man leaves, things get serious. Jin-Eon drops the news that he is starting a new skill called the Phantom Blossom Divine Art. Apparently, his inner energy is finally deep enough that he can stop being a one-trick pony with his lightning.
Myungo is confused because he thought shooting lightning was enough to win life.
But Jin-Eon has to explain that the white lightning art is all about offense, and if you cannot defend, you are just a glass cannon waiting to be shattered by a real master. The teacher starts explaining that a true warrior needs to know how to counter and redirect momentum. It is basically the ultimate know-you card in a fight. Myungo looks like his brain is buffering, which is honestly his default state at this point. Even the best fighters need to exploit their opponent's flaws.
Jin-Eon is talking about high-level physics while Myungo is probably just thinking about what is for dinner.
The gap between their talent levels is literally a canyon. The Phantom Blossom art specializes in these exact principles. It is all about using the enemy's own strength against them. It is slick, it is deadly, and it is way too sophisticated for our local simp to grasp on the first try. Then comes the reveal of the ultimate secret, the Phantom Reach. It is literally telekinesis, letting you move stuff without touching it. Jin-Eon is out here playing Star Wars while everyone else is playing with sticks. You can bend the path of a weapon or just seize it outright. For a close combat fighter, this is basically a cheat code. Imagine trying to stab someone and your sword just decides to go for a walk in the other direction.
Myungo has the audacity to call this legendary skill a thief's trick. Bro, you were just swinging a wooden stick for a month, maybe do not roast the guy who can move rocks with his mind.
The disrespect is real.
Jin-Eon is not having it and tells him to stop trying to understand with his dull excuse for a brain. He drops a massive truth bomb. Out of those 100,000 swings, only one single strike was actually worth anything.
Talk about a brutal performance review. Myungo is complaining about his thick arms and how he feels nothing, but the teacher is just getting started. If he wants to master the basics, he needs to find the perfect trajectory among 200,000 slashes and 300,000 thrusts. Jin-Eon explains that a legendary sword art is just a sequence of these perfect movements refined through endless repetition. It is not magic, it is just being a total psycho about your training until your body moves perfectly on its own. He warns his disciple that even perfect form is garbage if you do not have battle instincts. You can be a master in the backyard, but if you freeze up in a real fight, you are just a very graceful corpse. Myungo is convinced that all martial artists are just insane bastards, and honestly, he is not wrong. But Jin-Eon points out that there are people in the Jiang who way crazier than him. Strength is not about your sect, it is about how seriously you live your life. Every sect researches and polishes these sequences for generations. It is a long, boring process of making sure your sword goes exactly where it needs to go every single time. Precision is the difference between a master and a dead man. While they are talking, the Alliance leader is hiding in the bushes like a creep, listening to the whole lecture.
Jin-Eon starts talking about the Dokgo's 9 sword strikes, which everyone thinks is the peak of swordsmanship.
But then he mentions a legend that surpassed even that, the story of Jin-So-hun. This guy was an orphan from a performer troupe who spent 10 years just doing a harmless sword dance to protect the people who raised him. Because he spent a decade training solely to avoid hurting anyone, his foundation was insane. When he finally had to pick up a real sword meant for killing, his enlightenment erupted all at once and he basically broke the world's power scaling. The point of the story is that those 10 years of useless dancing were what made him a god. It was not the art itself, but how earnestly he lived through it. Jin-Eon challenges Manga to decide if he wants to be a scurrying rat or a real fox. Motivated by the lore and the trash talk, Manga goes full shonen protagonist. He declares that this time, he will not swing 100,000 times, but 1,000,000. He is finally locked in, and even the teacher looks a little surprised by the resolve. The Alliance leader is watching all this and getting hit right in the feels. He reflects on how all his old friends and subordinates are gone, but seeing these two train makes him feel like there is still hope for the future.
He decides that since he enjoyed the show so much, he should prepare a special gift for Jin-Eon.
Meanwhile, Jin-Eon is casually showing off his telekinesis, moving rocks around like they weigh nothing while Manga prepares for his million-swing marathon. We get a flashback to Jin So-hun's life among the ladies of the performer troupe.
It is a beautiful but sad story of a boy who just wanted to keep his family safe, never realizing he was becoming the strongest man alive in the process.
The transition from the sword of dance to the sword of killing is peak cinema.
The blood on his hands and the red in his eyes show that once he crossed that line, there was no going back.
He truly became an orphan of the world. He surpassed every established sect because his heart was different. Jin-Eon uses this to hammer home the lesson that prestige means nothing if you do not have the soul of a warrior. Manga is actually listening for once, which is a miracle. The lesson ends with a simple question: how do you want to live? The poisonous fox is finally starting to understand that there are no shortcuts to greatness. You either put in the work or you stay a background character forever. Manga's newfound resolve is actually kind of scary. He is ready to break his body for that million-swing goal. Jin-Eon just smirks, knowing he successfully manipulated his disciple into working 10 times harder. Typical teacher move. The Alliance leader is impressed by the tri-sword technique and the young master's potential. He misses the old days when he could just relax and train, but he knows the world is changing. He is definitely cooking up something big for our MC. As the sun sets on the training grounds, the shadows of the past loom over the old leader. He has seen too many friends disappear, but in Jin-Eon, he sees a light that might actually survive the coming storm. The chapter wraps up with Jin-Eon casually flexing his telekinetic powers, making rocks float around the waterfall like it is a Tuesday afternoon. Manga is back to swinging his weapon, and the grind for 1,000,000 strikes officially begins. The power level is rising, the secrets are being revealed, and our boys are finally getting serious.
If you think 1,000,000 swings is crazy, just wait until you see what the Alliance leader has in his gift bag.
This is just the beginning of the hype. Imagine being a low-tier martial artist and suddenly the final boss of the orthodox world just pops up behind you in the rain. Our boy Chol Myung-go is currently having a mini heart attack because the Murim Alliance leader himself is standing right there. The old man is surprisingly chill, noticing Myung-go's diligence, but then he spots the scar on his cheek. He asks if it is from some epic duel or intense training, giving Myung-go the perfect chance to lie and look cool. But nope.
Myung-ho has the social awareness of a brick and blabs out the truth.
He admits he got stabbed in a dirty gambling den because some guy refused to pay his debts. Talk about a total mood killer. Myung-go immediately wants to find a hole and crawl into it. He is calling himself an idiot internally because who tells the most legendary figure in the Jianghu that they were a low-life debt collector? Instead of judging him, the Alliance leader shows off his own arm scar. He starts a flashback about his father who used to run a brewery and deliver liquor to taverns. Turns out, even legends come from humble beginnings. The flashback gets dark as we see the leader's father getting absolutely bodied by a bunch of drunks. Back then, the leader was just a kid who couldn't even swing a sword, so he grabbed the only thing he could find, a big stick. He went full primal mode, swinging that stick wildly until every single drunk was on the floor. He didn't kill anyone, but he definitely cleared the room. It is the classic "don't mess with my family" trope, and it's glorious.
In the adrenaline rush, he didn't even realize his arm was sliced open and bleeding everywhere.
His father, looking completely traumatized, threw the boy on his back and sprinted through the snow to find help.
As he hung onto his father's back, he felt the heat of his father's sweat and the sting of his own blood.
That moment burned into his memory, making that scar a permanent badge of honor rather than a mark of shame. The old man drops some heavy wisdom, explaining that everyone in the Jianghu has their own messy story and burdens to carry. He then looks at Myungo's pathetic, tattered umbrella and decides it's time for an upgrade. Myungo tries to play it off saying he just borrowed the umbrella from Jin-Eon, but the leader isn't having it. He reaches out and hands Myungo a new weapon that looks way too expensive for a guy like him. This isn't just a rainy day accessory, it's a black iron umbrella from the famous Moyang clan. It's made of pure black iron, heavy as a mountain, and durable enough to survive a million swings without a scratch.
Myungo is holding this legendary gear like it is a holy relic, wondering if a guy with his shameful past even deserves it.
The leader just smiles, telling him that the past is the past.
The real test of a man isn't where he started, but if he can correct his wrongs and live properly today. If you can do that, you are already a good man in his books. This is the ultimate redemption arc pep talk. With a final encouraging pat on the shoulder, the leader takes his leave. He tells Myungo he expects to see some big things from him at the upcoming Dragon Phoenix tournament. No pressure, right?
As the legend walks away, Myungo is left standing there, probably holding back tears.
Jin-Eon, being the ultimate mood ruiner, just wants to go get lunch, but Myungo is too hyped to eat. Myungo decides to skip the meal and stay behind to train. He is literally vibrating with excitement because the Alliance leader gave him a personal gift.
He is either laughing like a maniac or crying. Even Jin-Eon can't tell.
Fast forward a few days, and the city is absolutely buzzing. It's the Eve festival for the Dragon Phoenix tournament, which is basically a giant Get Out of Your Week screening process for all the participants. The festival is wild. Arrogant warriors are everywhere, challenging each other to duels to weed out the frauds before the main event tomorrow. If you can't handle the heat tonight, you don't belong on the stage. Of course, a bunch of arrogant extras spot Myungo and his new umbrella. They start talking mad trash, asking why a clown would bring a household item to a martial arts festival. They really have no idea who they're mocking. Myungo has a short fuse and he finally snaps. He starts screaming about how this umbrella was a gift from the Alliance leader himself, but the crowd just laughs, thinking he's some delusional lunatic. Myungo introduces himself as a man who has swung his weapon 100,000 times. One challenger steps up, mocking his basic child-level training and insulting his master for teaching him street thug moves.
The challenger is a total simp for the tournament's reputation, and thinks Myungo is a disgrace.
Myungo doesn't care about the tournament, but he's never going to turn down a fight when his master's name is on the line. The duel is officially on. The crowd gathers round to watch the umbrella guy get destroyed. Jin-Eon is watching from a balcony, looking completely bored as Myungo readies his heavy iron weapon. The opponent is actually fast, lashing out with a spear-like strike.
Myungo realizes the iron umbrella is way heavier and shorter than his old one, making his timing feel completely off.
He's struggling to adjust to his new power. The spear slams into the ground right where Myungo was standing. He's sweating buckets because this new weapon is a totally different beast.
The crowd starts jeering, thinking our boy is about to get folded.
The challenger starts laughing, calling Myungo an idiot who can't even handle his own gear.
Myungo looks frustrated, realizes he can't win like this, and decides to do the unthinkable.
In a move that leaves everyone's jaws on the floor, Myungo turns around and starts booking it. He's literally running away from the fight. Is he a coward, or is he just baiting this arrogant spearman into a trap? Chul Myungo is currently having a mid-fight crisis because his black iron umbrella is shorter than his usual weapon.
Talk about a massive skill issue and a reach disadvantage right out of the gate.
Instead of standing his ground like a man, Myungo starts sprinting across the stage like he left the stove on at home. The crowd is losing it because they paid for a duel, not a track meet. To the confusion of literally everyone, he just keeps running. It looks like our boy is a total coward, and the audience is already preparing to ask for their money back from this circus. The spear-wielding attacker starts mocking him for scampering around like a rat. He eventually knocks Myungo to the dirt and demands he get up to face a proper beating like a good little punching bag. Myungo is struggling hard because his weapon reach is absolute garbage. He is missing horizontal slashes by miles while the spectators jeer at his seemingly pathetic performance. The humiliation is hitting different today.
Myungo feels the weight of his master's silent observation and realizes he looks like the ultimate disappointment in front of the entire martial world.
Spear Guy is feeling like a main character, roasting Myungo for being sloppy and pathetic. Honestly, seeing a guy with an umbrella get bullied this hard is almost painful to watch. The jeering intensifies as Myungo continues to fail at landing a single clean hit.
It is looking like a total wash, and the crowd is ready to write him off as a one-chapter wonder.
Just as the opponent prepares to end the match, Myungo starts reflecting on his past life as a total fool. He decides that dying like a loser is not on his bucket list for today. He is taking hits left and right, and the humiliation is reaching its peak. But there is a spark in his eyes that says he is finally ready to live as a man of substance and strength. Myungo is bleeding and battered, but he is actually baiting the attacker into closing the distance. He is basically playing 4D chess while the other guy is playing checkers. He literally thanks the man for coming closer, which is the ultimate red flag in any duel. Before the spear guy can even blink, Myungo prepares to unleash a hidden strike from the umbrella. Boom! A single, massive blow from the umbrella carries enough force to incapacitate the opponent instantly. The audience is in absolute shock that a common umbrella could pack that much heat. Standing victorious in a crater of his own making, Myungo finally identifies himself as the poisonous fox.
He is a warrior who makes sure to repay every single debt he owes, whether it is blood or kindness.
Of course, some jealous mid-tier competitors try to gang up on the exhausted Myungo.
Typical filler thugs thinking they can get a cheap win on a tired goat.
That is when Jin-Eon steps forward and releases a physical pressure so intense it literally halts the thugs in their tracks. They are paralyzed by pure, unadulterated fear.
Jin-Eon mocks their cowardice, and the thugs realize they are dealing with someone in an entirely different league.
It is the classic "you messed with the wrong master" moment we all live for. The tension is broken by the arrival of Yunwal, the prestigious and suspiciously handsome young master of the Hua clan. He tells the rabid dogs to back off and save it for the tournament. Yunwal clearly knows game when he sees it, approaching Jin-Eon with actual respect. He invites our MC to his quarters for a drink and a special gift later that night. Back at the lodging, Yunwal's sister Seol is being a total hater, questioning why he bothered stopping a duel between minor martial artists. She has clearly missed the memo on who is the real monster here. Yunwal reveals his sharp intuition, explaining that Jin-Eon is the top contender for the championship. He was even slowing down during the earlier race just to match their pathetic pace. The real kicker? Jin-Eon won all his battles using only raw physical strength without even tapping into his inner energy reserves. He is a literal cheat code in human form. Seeing his potential, Yunwal starts teasing Seol about marrying Jin-Eon to form a powerful alliance. Seol gets flustered and goes full tsundere, denying any interest while her face turns redder than a tomato. As Seol continues to throw a tantrum about him not being her type, a knock at the door reveals that Jin-Eon has arrived. The pre-festival is over, and it is time to see what the Hua clan really wants. Jin-Eon walks in with that signature "I do not care" energy, leaving Seol completely speechless. The alliance building is starting, and the power scaling is about to go through the roof. Yunwal is smiling because he knows he just brought a tactical nuke into his room. The merchant group alliance is the goal, and Jin-Eon is the golden ticket to the top. Seol is still trying to act tough, but you can tell she is impressed. RMC just has that effect on people, especially when he is busy being the strongest man in the room without even trying. The young master is ready to reveal his gift, and the hype for the Dragon Phoenix tournament is officially at an all-time high. These great clans have no idea what is about to hit them. Jin-Eon is just here for the drinks and the business, but he is clearly the one in control of the conversation. It is a masterclass in aura, and even the Hua clan is feeling the pressure. As the night deepens, the stage is set for a massive showdown. Our Umbrella Warrior and his Monster Master are about to turn this entire tournament into their personal playground. Seol is still blushing in the corner while the men talk business. It is a classic romance trope setup, but we all know Jin-Eon is only married to the grind and absolute victory. Yunwal finalizes his pitch, and it is clear that the Hua clan is betting everything on this mysterious merchant.
If you thought the pre-festival was wild, the main event is going to be a bloodbath.
The reveal of Jin-Eon's experience and intentional pace matching is the ultimate flex. He is not just strong, he is a seasoned veteran who is playing with his food. Seol's realization that she couldn't even sense his lack of inner energy proves just how far above them he is. This is not just a martial artist, this is a force of nature. The marriage talk might have been a joke, but the alliance is dead serious. Jin-Eon is the key to everything, and the Hua clan knows they need him if they want to survive the coming storm. Seol is still denying everything, but her reaction says it all. The poisonous fox and the monster master have officially arrived to claim their throne, and nobody is safe. Jin-Eon stands ready to see what is next, his presence alone commanding the entire room. The gift is waiting, the tournament is calling, and the hype train has officially left the station. Imagine being so overpowered that you walk into a den of geniuses and treat them like background characters. Our boy Jin-Eon arrives at Yunwal's place, probably expecting a serious meeting, but instead, he gets introduced to the little sister, Yunseol. She looks like a fragile doll that would break if you breathed on her too hard, but don't let the cute face fool you.
This girl is choosing violence today, and she's not happy about her brother's choice in company. Yunwal drops a truth bomb, claiming this tomboy is actually a top-tier candidate to win the entire Dragon Phoenix tournament.
Local cute girl is secretly a martial arts monster? Classic trope, but we'll allow it. Then comes the awkward part where the social anxiety kicks in. Yunseol hands over a treasured fist guard from the Hua clan as a gesture of goodwill. Basically, she's paying him to be her friend, and honestly, same. Jin-Eon takes the hand protector with the most stone-cold face you've ever seen. It's not a weapon, just high-quality gear, but he's already planning how many faces he's going to punch with it. He's so chill it's almost disrespectful.
He tells them he'll put it to good use, probably while thinking about how many geniuses he's about to humble in the upcoming bracket.
The conversation shifts to the tournament favorites, and Yunwal is absolutely floored.
He realizes Jin-Eon has zero clues about the competition.
Imagine entering the world's biggest fight without even checking the leaderboard. Pure legend energy. Yunseol has to break it down for our uninformed MC. It's a massive ego clash between the Murim Alliance and the Rulers Association. It's basically two groups of old men using kids to settle their petty beef. The Alliance is pinning their hopes on Jin Jiol from Mount Hua and Lim Jiryong from Wudong. You know the type, righteous, probably boring, and definitely destined to be a stepping stone for our boy. On the other side, we've got Dokgo Han and Namgung Wai from the Rulers Association. These two aren't just fighting for glory, they're fighting because they're both massive simps for the same girl. The girl in question? Baek Yun, the top beauty of the South.
These two love rivals are literally grinding their teeth, waiting to humiliate each other in the finals just to get a smile from her.
Imagine being that thirsty. But wait, Jin-Eon hears her name and has a total uncle moment. Turns out she's the daughter of a senior he respected in his past life. Talk about a small, reincarnated world. Seeing the little girl he once knew grown up into a southern beauty gives him some weird feelings. He's basically a grandpa trapped in a young man's body watching his niece's dating drama. Then we have Yunwal, the self-proclaimed dark horse who's too lazy to move. He finds everything in life bothersome, which is honestly the most relatable thing in this entire manhwa. The unpredictables? A random from the Hainan sect and, of course, our MC.
Jin-Eon just sits there looking like he's bored out of his mind, while they try to hype up his mystery factor.
Then he drops the bomb. He looks them dead in the eye and says none of those famous names are even worth his consideration for the title. The absolute audacity of this man. Yunwal can't even be mad, he just laughs his head off. He's trying to scan Jin-Eon's martial arts level, but it's like trying to measure the ocean with a ruler. He's completely unreadable and terrifying.
Jin-Eon is out here choosing violence with his words, and Yunwal realizes he can't even tell if the guy is interested in his sister, or just really wants to punch people.
Spoiler, it's definitely the punching. After the MC dips, Yunwal pulls a pro-gamer move. He's yielding his own spot in the tournament. Why participate when you can have a front row seat to the massacre Jin-Eon is about to cause? Yunseal is super salty because the Snow Phoenix didn't even get a flirtatious glance. Sorry sis, our boy is on a grind set, and your beauty stats have zero effect on his mental armor. Jin-Eon leaves the premises, probably going to find a quiet place to test his new fist guard. He's got a tournament to win and a whole lot of geniuses to turn into hospital patients. Back inside, Yunwal drops some heavy wisdom. He tells his sister that not every hero in the Alliance is a good guy, and not every merchant is weak. He's basically telling her to stop judging books by their covers. He's totally given up on winning just because he met someone worthwhile. This man is the ultimate Jin-Eon fanboy already, and the tournament hasn't even started yet.
Yunseal still thinks he's a blunt womanizer, but her brother corrects her.
Jin-Eon isn't pretending to be uninterested, he literally just does not care about her Snow Phoenix status at all. Savage. The siblings' peaceful chat is about to get interrupted though. Enter Dokgo Han, the future patriarch with a massive ego and a very fragile temper. He looks like he's looking for someone to kill. He overheard the rumors of Jin-Eon's dismissal and he's absolutely fuming. He demands to know who dared to insult the future patriarch of the Dokgo clan. He's about to catch these hands. The Hwa siblings are too scared to even open their mouths. They know the storm is coming, and Dokgo Han is leading the charge right into Jin-Eon's path.
Dokgo Han is walking around like he owns the place, screaming for the man who dared to look down on him.
Little does he know, he's just signed up for a one-way ticket to a beatdown.
The chapter ends with the golden boy's eyes glowing with rage.
He wants a name, he wants a fight, and he's about to realize that young Master Li is a name he'll never forget.
Imagine being so insecure that a random rumor about a merchant's son ruins your entire night. Meet Dokgo Han, the future patriarch of his clan and a certified red flag, who is currently throwing a temper tantrum because someone suggested he is not the strongest guy in the room. He stomps over to Yunwal, demanding to know if some low-tier merchant brat really had the audacity to insult the great clans. Honestly, the ego on this guy is big enough to have its own zip code, and he is looking for someone to punish for his bruised feelings. Yunwal tries to give him a reality check, warning him about the man who absolutely deleted Ouyang Sang from the server, but Han is not having it. He refuses to believe that a mere merchant could ever be a threat to his noble status, proving that pride really does come before a massive fall. Yunwal is out here playing 4D chess as the next chief strategist of the Rulers Association while Han is still playing checkers. She drops a bomb, predicting that this year's champion won't come from any of the usual powerhouse organizations, which is basically a slap to Han's face. This clown is so confident in the old ways that he wagers 10,000 niang on the traditional favorites.
He thinks he is making easy money, but the look on his face says he is about to become the local joke of the tournament.
Yunwal does not just accept the bet, she triples it. She is betting 30,000 niang against the big clans because she knows our boy Jin-Eon is built different.
Han is laughing now, but his wallet is definitely going to be crying later.
As they finalize the deal, the tension is thick enough to cut with a sword.
Han thinks he is the main character, but little does he know, he is just a side boss waiting to be farmed for experience points by a merchant's son.
Fast forward to the Dragon Phoenix tournament registration, where the hype is reaching terminal levels. Jin-Eon finds out he can use an alias for the preliminaries, which is perfect for a guy who wants to keep a low profile while breaking everyone's bones.
Looking back at his past life, he thinks about calling himself the Fist King, but then decides that title is still a bit too heavy for his current level.
He is being humble for once, which is a rare sight in a world filled with arrogant young masters. He settles on the name Fist Warrior instead, which sounds basic but is actually a warning for anyone with a functioning brain. He watches the other contestants and notices their inner energy has improved, but he is planning to use pure, refined physical techniques to smoke them. Our protagonist is just chilling, analyzing the competition like a pro gamer. He knows that inner energy is not everything, and he is about to prove that a well-placed fist is worth more than 1,000 years of cultivation if you do not know how to use it. Suddenly, a strict judge from the Murim Alliance starts a scene by disqualifying a total jerk who attacked a defeated opponent. This judge is actually goat for having some actual standards in a world full of snakes and backstabbers. Jin-Eon watches the whole drama and actually gains some respect for the orthodox side.
He realizes that even among the annoying righteous sects, there are still men of integrity who will not tolerate trash behavior, which is a nice change of pace.
A spot opens up because of the disqualification, and Jin-Eon slides right in like he owns the place. He hands over his registration tag to the judge, who is about to get the shock of his life once he looks at our boy's gear. The judge's eyes nearly pop out of his head when he sees Jin-Eon's gauntlets.
He identifies them as rare celestial silkworm thread from the legendary Bakley clan, making Jin-Eon realize that Yunwal casually gave him a treasure worth a literal fortune.
With newfound appreciation for his expensive gloves, Jin-Eon steps up for his first official bout.
His opponent is talking trash, thinking he has a chance, while the judge is still trying to process the fact that a random warrior is wearing legendary artifacts.
The match is over before it even begins. Jin-Eon lands a punch so fast and devastating that the crowd goes silent. He did not even wait for the judge to finish the instructions before sending his opponent to meet his ancestors in record time.
Next up is a guy named Lifestealer who uses a staff and thinks he is the final boss.
He decides to pour every last drop of his inner energy into one desperate strike, hoping to end Jin-Eon's win streak before it starts. Jin-Eon literally mocks the man for relying too much on a piece of wood. He shatters the staff and the man's dignity with a single blow, proving that no amount of flashy weapons can save you from a guy who is just fundamentally better at everything.
The crowd is losing their minds, and the judge is actually impressed by the sheer efficiency of the fist warrior.
Jin-Eon is just standing there looking cool, while the next guy in line is probably reconsidering his entire career path. The third opponent is so terrified after witnessing the carnage that he immediately forfeits the match. The judge is annoyed by the cowardice but declares Jin-Eon qualified for the main round after throwing only 2 punches, making him the most efficient monster in the tournament. Imagine being so overpowered that the tournament judges are literally sweating over the brackets. Our boy the Fist Warrior is such a massive red flag for the other contenders that the elders are terrified of the power gap he is creating. Word on the street is this mysterious beast advanced to the main bracket after throwing exactly 2 strikes. Just 2. While everyone else is out here struggling for their lives, this guy is treating the prelims like a light warm-up. Enter the big boss, Alliance leader Dokgo Han, looking like he just stepped out of a high-tier cultivation manual. He is out here praising the elders for filtering out the low-tier scrubs who lack proper martial character, because nobody has time for trash. Security is tighter than a psycho duke's grip on a female lead. Dokgo Han isn't playing around and orders the elite dragon squads to track and protect every single qualifier to make sure no one tries any funny business before the main event.
He drops a cold-blooded decree that would make any villain shake.
Anyone caught touching a qualifier, even if they are from a famous sect, is going straight to the dungeon. He is making a harsh example out of anyone who dares to interfere with his show. The elders are basically trembling because the leader's aura is just that frightening to behold. Meanwhile, the stage is finally set for the Dragon Phoenix tournament main qualifiers, and you can practically feel the hype radiating off the arena. As the crowd goes wild, we see the brackets being revealed and the atmosphere is electric. Everyone is looking for their favorite fighter, but the tension among the actual contenders is thick enough to cut with a spirit sword. Preparations are finally complete, but we have got Chol Myung-go acting like a total brat because he cannot see the stage. Sir, you are a contender, not a VIP spectator, so maybe focus on the fight instead of your lack of a front row view. The other qualifiers are already acting like typical arrogant young masters, making wagers on the championship and bragging about their inevitable wins.
Shushing each other and playing mind games is apparently more important than actual training.
Dokgo Han is having a major midlife crisis moment, staring out the window and getting hit by a wave of nostalgia. He starts remembering his old friend Jin-Eon, and you just know a tragic backstory flashback is about to drop.
We dive into the blood-soaked memories of the Oring campaign. It is a total nightmare of fire and betrayal where Dokgo Han had to watch his comrades fall while screaming for him to lead the battle.
The trauma is real, folks. He is reflecting on the sins of both the orthodox and demonic factions, questioning why so many people had to die. It is the classic philosophical trope: why do the strong involve the weak in their messy wars instead of just settling it themselves?
After getting lost in those dark thoughts, the leader snaps back to reality with a bombshell announcement.
He reveals that this Dragon Phoenix tournament might actually be the last one he ever hosts. Talk about a way to kill the mood. The crowd is absolutely losing it for the hero of the Alliance as he makes his grand entrance. He waves to the fans like a total legend while the young martial artists try to act cool despite being totally starstruck by his presence. Dokgo Han starts his speech with the ultimate humble brag. 45 years ago, he was just a shaggy-haired kid who had to borrow cash just to enter the contest. Now he is the one running the entire show and looking down at the new generation.
He recounts his glory days, defeating masters from reputable clans and the Golden Blood sect like they were nothing.
He and his runner-up bestie, Jin-Eon, started their journey together after the elders gifted them legendary swords.
The joy of receiving those swords made him want to get stronger, and now he is passing that hype along.
He reveals the first prize, a century-old Zhonghua ginseng that is so rare even money cannot buy it. The crowd is basically salivating. Abbas Hyani of the Ame sect really clutched up by providing that elixir for an unknown winner. But the real prize for the top swordsman is the Star Sword, the very blade that belonged to his late friend Jin-Eon. The sentimental value is off the charts. If that wasn't enough, the Gu clan ironsmiths forged a brand new masterpiece just for this event. It is Mount Hua quality, and the winner gets the honor of naming it themselves. Every simp in the audience is wishing they had signed up now. Drawing his own water lunar sword to show its unchanging edge, Dokgo Han tells the youths to keep an upright heart until they ascend to heaven. With a final declaration that the Orthodox faction gives without strings, he officially kicks off the tournament. The Dragon Phoenix tournament is finally kicking off, and it starts with the Murim Alliance leader acting like he is the main character of a historical drama. He is up there giving a whole speech about the Orthodox path being about conviction, while Jin-Eon is just in the crowd judging him for being a dramatic fossil. Jin-Eon is actually reflecting on those words though, realizing that being Orthodox is basically a polite way of saying you are a stubborn martial artist who refuses to give up on your beliefs until the day you die. It is less about pride and more about the literal struggle to stay relevant. The first match of the main bracket is announced, and it is our mysterious fist warrior against the dual spears of Hebei. Jin-Eon walks toward the stage with the kind of confidence that says, I am about to ruin this man's whole career. As he steps onto the stage, Jin-Eon is mentally preparing himself. This is his first time facing a dual spear master in this life, but since he is low-key the fist king, he is not exactly shaking in his boots. The spearman, on the other hand, is looking at him like he is a lost child. This spear guy sees that Jin-Eon has no weapon and immediately assumes he is a low-level scrub. Big mistake. Huge.
He thinks this is going to be an easy win, but he clearly has not been reading the same story we have.
The referee calls for the start, and the spearman lunges in. He is fast, I will give him that, but Jin-Eon is just standing there like he is waiting for a bus.
The crowd is holding their breath, thinking our boy is about to get turned into a kebab.
But then Jin-Eon starts moving like flowing water, effortlessly dodging every single strike. He is making this master look like he is swinging toothpicks in the dark. The counterattack is coming, and you can practically feel the spearman's confidence evaporating.
The spearman tries to get fancy and strike from a distance, thinking that staying away from those fists will keep him safe.
He unleashes a whole barrage of attacks, but Jin-Eon is just vibing through the chaos like it is a light breeze.
And then comes the absolute disrespect moment. Jin-Eon blocks a direct spear strike with his bare hands.
The audience is collectively losing their minds because who even does that?
He is not just a fist warrior, he is a literal cheat code.
One crushing blow later, and the spearman is folded like a lawn chair.
Elder Song checks the damage and confirms he is just unconscious, which is honestly a mercy. The referee declares an exhilarating victory for the Fist Warrior, and the crowd goes wild. People are finally connecting the dots and realizing this is the same guy who passed the prelims first. Jin-Eon is officially the tournament's biggest dark horse, and everyone is suddenly a fan now that he is winning. Typical Murim crowd behavior. Why Yunwal slides over to offer congratulations, and we have Chul Myungo insisting on being called the poisonous fox now. Our boy Jin-Eon just calls him Umbrella anyway because he is savage like that. Myungo's new title is definitely a red flag for his ego. Yunwal admits he skipped the tournament to watch from the sidelines, but he did something even crazier. He bet 30,000 Niang on Jin-Eon's victory. That is basically the price of 3 buildings. He is either a genius or has a serious gambling problem. Jin-Eon is totally chill about it, promising his friend that the money is safe. They start discussing those celestial silkworm gauntlets, which were apparently a gift from the Bakley clan patriarch in exchange for a master-crafted sword. High-tier loot for a high-tier fighter. The Wa clan is clearly hiding some insane strength, but the spotlight shifts back to the stage. Enter Dokgo Han, a man who looks like he eats arrogance for breakfast. He is wielding a massive black heavy sword and looks ready to delete someone. Dokgo Han ends his match with a single, brutal strike. He is not just strong, he is a total menace.
The crowd is cheering, but you can tell this guy is going to be a major problem for our protagonist later on.
He is the definition of a final boss vibe. After his win, this arrogant noble decides to talk some trash. He mocks Yunwal for wasting a fortune betting on the son of a merchant group instead of a true warrior. The elitism is off the charts with this guy, and he is begging for a reality check. Myungo has finally had enough and calls Dokgo Han a brainless moron right to his face. The tension is so thick you could cut it with that giant sword.
Dokgo Han is absolutely enraged, and it looks like a violent confrontation is about to explode right there.
Imagine calling a legendary warrior a brainless moron to his face while everyone is watching. That is exactly how our boy Chul Myungo decides to start his day, and the sheer audacity is honestly life-changing. He does not stop there because he looks at Dokgo Han's massive sword and asks if he can borrow that oversized umbrella sometime. The level of disrespect is reaching astronomical levels, and Dokgo is clearly not used to being roasted by a non-participant. Dokgo Han is absolutely fuming and looks ready to commit a felony right then and there. He prepares to draw his weapon to strike Myungo down for the crime of having a sense of humor, but the tension is suddenly cut by a new challenger. Enter Namgung-wi, the grandson of the actual Sword Emperor. He walks in like he owns the place and immediately starts scolding Dokgo for wasting his precious energy on someone he considers a trivial opponent. Jin-Eon is watching this whole exchange and notes that this new guy is the real deal. He looks exactly like his legendary grandfather and reeks of high-level skill, making him a major red flag for anyone in this tournament. Namgung-wi decides to flex on everyone by revealing he already finished his match with a single strike. He is out here showing the same kind of overwhelming dominance as the Fist Warrior, and he clearly wants everyone to know it.
The crowd is losing their minds because the last match only ended moments ago.
While everyone else is struggling, these monsters are out here treating a prestigious tournament like a warm-up exercise at the gym. Just when things could not get more dramatic, Lady Beck makes her entrance.
She walks straight up to Jin-Eon with a smile that could end wars, and you can already feel the jealousy radiating off the other guys.
She warmly greets Jin-Eon and even thanks him for the sword he gave her. She mentions she is using it well, which is basically the equivalent of a public shout-out that sends the local simps into a total tailspin.
As the winners of round 1 are called to get ready, Jin-Eon realizes he is being stared down by 2 of the most dangerous guys in the room.
Both Dokgo Han and Namgung-wi are glaring at him like he personally stole their lunch money. While Yunwal steps in to drop the tea, explaining that these 2 young lords are actually rivals in love for Lady Beck. Since she is being nice to Jin-Eon, he has inadvertently become the main villain in their twisted little romance fantasy. Jin-Eon finds the whole situation completely ridiculous. He cannot believe these heirs of prestigious clans are acting like total fools just because they are blinded by lust for a woman who clearly has better taste. Despite the fact that he now has a giant target on his back, Jin-Eon takes a second to praise Myungo.
He actually liked the kid's bold move from earlier,
because someone needed to tell those arrogant jerks the truth.
The tournament bracket is finally revealed, and it looks like Destiny has a sense of humor. Jin-Eon, fighting under the name Fist Warrior, is scheduled to face off against Peerless Dokgo in the very next round. Yunwoo warns him that the path ahead is a literal nightmare. If he manages to beat Dokgo, he will have to jump straight into the semi-finals against Namgung. It is a back-to-back gauntlet designed to break anyone. On the other side of the bracket, we have the Golden Sand Sword of the Hainan sect and the Plum Blossom Wanderer from Mount Hua. One of them is going to reach the finals, but all eyes are on Jin-Eon's side of the map. Dokgo Han steps onto the stage and the vibes are absolutely murderous. He is convinced that Lady Beck only likes Jin-Eon because she has not seen a real master in action yet, and he is determined to change that. To try and intimidate our boy, Dokgo starts pouring his inner energy into his heavy blade. He is flexing so hard that the actual stone stage beneath his feet starts to crack and shatter into pieces.
Seeing the sheer malice and saltiness coming from his opponent, Jin-Eon realizes his original plan is out the window.
He was going to go easy since it is an orthodox match, but this guy is asking for a beatdown. Dokgo Han is still talking trash, demanding that the merchant worm should know his place.
It is the classic mistake of a side character thinking they are the main protagonist right before a disaster happens.
Jin-Eon just smiles and decides to give the arrogant noble some very special treatment.
He stops holding back, and the air in the arena shifts as the real monster finally decides to stop playing nice. The stage is literally falling apart as the two prepare to clash.
Dokgo thinks his power is impressive, but he is about to find out that cracking some rocks is nothing compared to the raw strength of the Fist Warrior.
As the fight begins, the sheer pressure from Jin-Eon makes Dokgo's murderous aura look like a joke. The audience is silent, realizing that this is not going to be a normal duel, but a total demolition. Dokgo swings his massive sword with everything he has, but he is swinging at a ghost. Jin-Eon is already moving in for the kill, proving that being a grandson of a legend does not mean anything if you are just a simp.
With a final, crushing move, Jin-Eon prepares to end this match and send a message to everyone watching.
If you want to fight for Lady Beck's attention, you better be prepared to leave the arena in a stretcher. Look at this mess. The arena is literally in pieces because these two decided to play demolition derby instead of fighting like civilized humans. The Alliance leader is just sitting there like a disappointed grandpa, telling everyone to keep going, but please, for the love of everything, do not kill the audience.
The crowd is losing their minds. They thought our boy was just some brute with big muscles who only knew how to punch things, but it turns out he is the ultimate hybrid.
He has got that perfect balance of inner and outer energy that makes most of these so-called masters look like they are still in kindergarten. Now everyone is finally connecting the dots. They are realizing how this supposed merchant group heir managed to embarrass the Ouyang patriarch. He moves with so much grace and precision that he is basically dancing on Dokgo Han's grave before the guy is even dead. Talk about a total disaster for the prestige of the high clans. Dokgo Han is out here tripping over his own feet and dropping his heavy sword like a complete amateur. It is a disgraceful display for someone who is supposed to be a noble, and the second-hand embarrassment from the crowd is reaching peak levels. The whispers from the sidelines are absolutely brutal. People are calling him out for not even knowing the basic stances of his own clan's signature techniques.
Imagine being such a disappointment that your father's high expectations are basically the only thing keeping you from crying on the floor.
Even with his pride in the gutter, Dokgo Han tries to pull a fast one to save face. He attempts to unleash the heaven-destroying art, which is supposed to be this lethal, concentrated point of power. Spoiler alert, it is not looking good for our local red flag noble. Jin-Eon is actually out here giving a mid-fight lecture like he is a substitute teacher.
He is basically telling his opponent that a sword is useless if the body and mind are not working together in perfect unity.
He is staying incredibly calm while Dokgo Han is having a full-blown mental breakdown. Our main lead points out the most obvious flaw in this guy's entire existence.
Sure, the sword is heavy and intimidating, but Dokgo Han's mind is scattered into 10,000 tiny pieces.
You cannot land a hit when your focus is as messy as your fighting style, and Jin-Eon is letting him know it. The disrespect is legendary. Jin-Eon tells him straight up that the prestigious Dokgo clan techniques are like an empty cart. They make a lot of noise, but there is absolutely nothing of substance inside. Imagine being roasted that hard in front of the entire martial arts world. As Dokgo Han starts to spiral into pure desperation, our boy Jin-Eon gets surprisingly philosophical.
He realizes that the pressure of living up to public scrutiny is actually more violent than any real struggle in the Murim.
The kid has an inner demon that is eating him alive from the inside out. It is a classic case of a strong body carrying a weak spirit. Jin-Eon knows that if this continues, the blade will eventually turn against its owner. If you do not learn to control your own power, your power is going to end up being the one that puts you in the ground. Instead of just ending this guy's misery with a single strike, Jin-Eon decides to be a mentor for a second. He gives the arrogant noble a tiny clue on how to actually consolidate his energy.
It is like a pro player helping a noob who is about to delete the game out of pure rage.
Following the subtle guidance, Dokgo Han finally stops flailing around like a fish out of water. He manages to firmly encase that drifting inner energy and actually performs the heaven-destroying art the way it was intended. It is a miracle, honestly, but he still looks like a kicked puppy. Jin-Eon acknowledges the success but keeps it 100% real. He tells the junior that he should be thanking his lucky stars he is facing an orthodox opponent who is willing to teach. In the real world, someone would have turned him into a kebab 10 minutes ago. The realization finally hits Dokgo Han like a freight train. He is looking at Jin-Eon and seeing a wall so high that his clan's best techniques cannot even reach the top. The gap in power isn't just a distance, it is a whole different dimension of martial arts mastery. He is completely exhausted and cannot even stand properly anymore. The judges finally step in and tell him to stop before he brings further shame to the honor of the entire Dokgo clan. It is a mercy kill for his reputation at this point, and the kid knows he is beaten. The Fist Warrior is officially declared the winner, and the spectators are left in absolute awe. They just watched a mercenaire dismantle a high-ranking noble while simultaneously teaching him how to fight. If that isn't the ultimate flex in the Murim, I don't know what is. But of course, we have another egomaniac waiting in the wings.
Namgung-wi is watching from the sidelines with a smug grin, thinking he is the one who will eventually crush our boy.
He is clearly delusional, but hey, we all need a hobby, right? Namgung-wi is finally waking up to reality and realizing that our mercenaire isn't just some lucky kid. He's been hiding his true inner energy this whole time like a total snake, and Y is starting to sweat buckets.
While his rival Dokgo Han was just a meathead who tried to use brute force, Y thinks he's a tactical genius.
He's convinced that a calculated approach is the only way to survive the superior skills of this absolute monster. We get a flashback to his grandpa giving him the typical noble clan speech.
Apparently, having Namgung blood means you have to be the one controlling the board, not some pathetic pawn getting played by the system.
Driven by this I am the player ego, Y steps onto the sparring platform looking like he's already won. He's determined to pull Jin-Eon into his own little strategic game, but he has no idea what's coming. The match kicks off and Y immediately pulls out the ruler's 8 slashes. It's a high-tier sword art designed to slowly shave away an opponent's energy, which is basically the most annoying way to fight ever. This technique creates a massive defensive barrier of sword energy. Y is literally baiting Jin-Eon to jump into the air like a predictable amateur just so he can drain his stamina and finish him off. But Jin-Eon doesn't give a single damn about Y's little traps. He shocks the entire audience by charging straight into the energy barrier, planning to shatter this complex technique with nothing but his bare fists. Y is struggling to keep his cool as Jin-Eon starts deflecting his best attacks like they're annoying flies. This kid is showing off skill levels that match the top disciples of the Sword Emperor, and it's making Y look like a joke.
Jin-Eon is actually enjoying this, treating the fight like a little practice session.
He knows that if he wants to be the best under heaven, he has to eventually stomp the Sword Emperor himself, so Y is just a warm-up.
During the crazy exchange of blows, Y thinks he's finally found a loop in Jin-Eon's moves.
He's counting the hits, palm, kick, fist, and he's convinced he's cracked the code like a true gaming nerd.
Confident in his big brain prediction, the young lord moves to counter what he thinks is a finishing palm strike.
Too bad for him, because he gets a devastating fist to the face instead. Wrong answer, simp. Jin-Eon drops the bombshell that he was using sound arts to mess with Y's head. He's literally manipulating the guy's perceptions, proving once and for all that he doesn't follow any of the regular rules. Y finally has a moment of clarity while he's eating dirt.
He realizes that while his clan is busy trying to dominate the board, the Fist Warrior is a wild variable who just smashes the entire board to pieces.
The defeat is absolute and humiliating.
WI is standing there all-blooded in front of Lady Beakley, realizing his entire worldview was basically just a tiny box he couldn't see out of.
Talk about a reality check. Even after getting totally wrecked, Y shows a tiny bit of backbone. He vows to challenge his rival again and promises to set up a board that even this board breaker can't handle. We'll see about that, buddy. The referee officially calls it, the Fist Warrior is the winner of the semi-finals.
The crowd is losing their minds because the merchant heir just secured his spot in the grand finals.
This new guy, Y Maction, introduces himself as the Golden Sand Sword. He's super noisy and hyped for a final showdown, but first, he has to get past the Plum Blossom Wanderer in the second semi-final.
Imagine training your whole life just to realize you are essentially a side character in someone else's power fantasy. We are diving straight into the semifinals where the Plum Blossom Wanderer thinks his flashy sword is enough to win. But he is about to get a reality check.
Jin-Eon from the Mount Hua sect starts spamming his Gale Rush like he is playing a button masher. It is all pink petals and high-speed movement, clearly trying to win the award for most extra performance of the year. The crowd is eating it up because everyone loves a good light show, but our boy Y Maction is just standing there with the ultimate is that all you got expression. He is not even breaking a sweat while the petals fly.
Even the high-tier spectators are starting to realize that Mount Hua's flashiness is just a cover for desperation.
Y Maction, the Golden Sand Sword, is literally smiling through the chaos because he has already seen the ending. Jin-Eon decides to go for the big guns with the 24 moves Plum Blossom Sword technique, basically staking his entire life on one move. Spoiler alert, staking your life this early in the tournament is usually a massive red flag for losing. He unleashes the Plum Blossom Twister, and for a second, it looks like a pink hurricane hit the arena. But Y Maction just tightens his grip and prepares to end this man's whole career with zero hesitation. Here comes the counterplay. Y Maction uses his golden thread needle, cutting through the flowery nonsense with cold, hard precision. Flashy moves are great for recruitment posters, but they clearly suck against actual geniuses. The pink storm gets absolutely shredded by golden energy.
Jin-Eon looks like he just realized he brought a decorative fan to a literal death match, and his face says it all.
Total shock and a side of humble pie. And just like that, the Mount Hua disciple is eating the dirt.
Y Maction secures his spot in the finals, leaving Jin-Eon to wonder why he bothered with all those petals in the first place.
Y Maction stands over him like a boss, telling him to just give it up already. He even roasts him for trying to die in a friendly spar, which is honestly the most savage way to tell someone they are overacting. The semi-finals are wrapped up, and the hype for the final match is reaching illegal levels. It is the Golden Sand Sword versus our mysterious merchant heir, the Fist Warrior. The stadium is basically a powder keg at this point. The crowd is divided.
Half of them are simping for the Hainan sect as once-in-a-century genius, while the other half are wondering if our MC is actually a human or just a cheat code in a blue robe.
As the final match officially begins, Y Maction decides to throw a curveball. Instead of using his sword immediately, he starts with close combat movements. He is trying to beat the Fist Warrior at his own game, which is a bold strategy if your goal is to lose quickly. RMC is just vibing, blocking every strike like he is swatting flies.
Y Maction realizes that his hands are not going to cut it, so he switches to a reverse grip technique to try and catch Jin-Eon off guard.
It is a nice attempt at being unpredictable, but our MC has the ultimate seen it, done it aura. Y Maction is getting frustrated because no matter what angle he takes, he is hitting an invisible wall of pure skill. Finally, the Golden Sand Sword stops playing around and unleashes his signature move, the heaven-shattering golden thread. The air fills with sand, but it is not just for show, it is infused with concentrated inner energy. The sand is being manipulated by nearly invisible threads of energy. It is a lethal web designed to shred anyone inside it, and for a moment, it looks like our MC might actually have to try. Keyword, might.
Jin-Eon realizes this isn't ordinary sand. He is watching the threads move with the kind of focus that makes you realize he is not just a fighter. He is a monster who understands the matrix of martial arts. Waimaxian thinks he has the win in the bag, but then the impossible happens.
His lethal golden threads just stop. They are frozen midair like they just hit a lag spike in a video game. The look on Waimaxian's face is priceless. He is trying to force the threads forward, but they are not budging. RMC has literally seized control of the energy threads using superior manipulation. This is beyond overpowered, it is just bullying. Waimaxian feels like he has run into an unscalable wall.
He realizes the gap between them isn't just a few levels. It is an entire ocean.
He admits defeat right then and there, proving he is at least a graceful loser. The referee declares the Fist Warrior the champion, and the stadium goes absolutely quiet before erupting. Nobody expected the merchant heir to actually take the crown, but here we are. Waimaxian shows some actual class by thanking Jin-Eon for the lesson. He even asks for another spar in the future, probably hoping he can learn how to not get his ultimate move turned off like a light switch next time. But wait, the wholesome vibes are about to get nuked.
Far away from the cheers, the secret demon core of the Myriad Demon Palace is crawling out of the shadows.
And they are not here for the trophy. Captain Oh Kyung is leading this group of psychos, and they are plotting something nasty. They are talking about a revised plan involving the rising talents who are about to head home. The demonic faction is setting up a massive ambush at Gurung Gorge. They are planning to slaughter all the young geniuses while they are still tired from the tournament. It is the ultimate red flag move for the next arc. They are even targeting the people the Heavenly Demon and Sword Demon couldn't kill.
These guys are not messing around, and the tournament celebration is about to turn into a literal bloodbath if our MC doesn't step in.
While everyone is cheering for the new champion, the dark clouds are already gathering.
The Myriad Demon Palace is ready to shift the balance of power, and Gurung Gorge is about to become a graveyard. The champion has been decided, but the real war is just beginning. Stay tuned, because our Fist Warrior is about to find out that fighting in a ring is nothing compared to surviving a demonic ambush. The Fist King is back, and he is the champion, but the demon cult doesn't care about titles. They only care about bodies. Get ready for the next chapter, because things are about to get violent. The ambush is set, the talents are moving, and the captain of the demon corps is already smiling. This isn't just a tournament recap anymore, it is a countdown to a massacre. The scene shifts to the dark night, where the Myriad Demon Palace members are gathering. They are moving with a level of coordination that spells disaster for the orthodox sects. Oh Kyung is briefed on the rising talents, and he dismisses them as just kids. He is about to learn the hard way that one of those kids is a reincarnated monster who eats demons for breakfast. The plan is simple: kill everyone on the way back. No witnesses, no survivors. The Gurung Gorge formation is being finalized as we speak. Spiders and webs everywhere, symbolizing the trap they are laying. It is edgy, it is dramatic, and it is exactly the kind of trouble our MC thrives in.
The moment of truth has arrived, and the Dragon Phoenix tournament finally has its king.
Our boy, the mysterious Fist Warrior, just snatched the crown while the crowd is losing their minds because they still can't believe this random dark horse actually pulled it off.
The Murim Alliance leader isn't wasting any time and summons the top 3 heavy hitters to the stage. Jin-Eon, Waimaxian, and Namgung-Wai are all lined up, looking like the ultimate squad of overachievers while the old man prepares to hand out the legendary loot. Namgung-Wai gets the first shiny toy, the Supreme Star Blade, which is basically the leader's personal favorite.
Surprisingly, the local arrogant genius has actually learned some manners and accepts the gift with enough humility to make you wonder if he's been replaced by a clone.
Next up is Waimaxian, the once-in-a-century genius who is clearly feeling himself. He decides to name his brand new weapon the Golden Sand Sword to match his signature style, proving that even in the Murim, branding is everything if you want to stay relevant. As the public show wraps up, things get suspiciously serious. The leader orders the White Dragon Squad and the elders to lock the place down and form a human shield around the winner, because apparently, the next part of the program is for VIP eyes only. Yunwal starts dropping some lore, explaining that popping a high-level elixir is like playing Russian roulette with your soul. One tiny slip-up and you're looking at a one-way ticket to energy deviation, which is a fancy way of saying your internal organs will literally explode. The Alliance leader is being surprisingly wholesome, personally standing guard so Jin-Eon can focus on his power-up. It's a level of favoritism that would make any other junior green with envy, but when you're the protagonist, the universe basically bends over backward for you.
Jin-Eon takes a look at the century-old purified ginseng and remembers his past life as a lonely nobody.
Back then, he didn't have the strongest men in the world acting as his personal bodyguards while he enjoyed a midnight snack that's worth more than a small kingdom.
The absorption process starts and it's an absolute flex. Thanks to that azurite essence he's carrying, the energy doesn't just flow, it surges. He's breaking through barriers like they're made of wet paper, leaving his previous weak self in the dust where he belongs. Our boy officially hits the 9th level of cultivation, and the sheer speed of it is terrifying.
He's absorbing centuries of power in a matter of minutes, basically speedrunning the entire Murim power scale while the old man outside is probably wondering if he fell asleep on the job.
The leader is genuinely shook when Jin-Eon finishes so fast, expecting him to be in a deep trance for days. Instead, the champion just wakes up and casually complains that he's starving to death, which is the most relatable thing this OP monster has done all day. Time for a celebratory feast, but Chol Myungo is looking like he's about to have a heart attack. The usually loudmouthed brat is suddenly the quietest kid in class because sitting across from the legendary Alliance leader is apparently more terrifying than a deathmatch. The leader decides to roast Myungo a bit, calling him out by his nickname, Poisonous Fox. He asks if the kid has finally figured out how to use his new iron umbrella properly, turning the dinner table into a high-stakes interrogation that Myungo is barely surviving. The old man shifts his gaze to Yunwal and drops a bombshell. He knows all about the Hua clan's secret heroics during the Great Battle of the Five Tombs. It turns out the clan isn't just a bunch of merchants, and their hidden history is finally coming out of the shadows. Yunwal gets a stern lecture about carrying the weight of his ancestors.
The leader tells him that showing panic or weakness is basically a middle finger to his lineage, so he needs to straighten his back and start acting like the descendant of a great clan already.
The vibes go from celebratory to grim real fast. The leader reveals that the Fist King and Moyang Chu have gone completely silent, which is Murim code for something very bad happened.
The demonic faction is waking up, and they're looking for blood.
The leader has a special mission for Jin-Eon. Since the demons don't even know he exists yet, he wants him to become the hidden sword of the Orthodox faction. Basically, he wants him to be a secret weapon that can stab the enemy in the back before they even see him coming. The dinner wraps up and the boys plan to go out for some real drinks, but the peaceful night is about to be shattered. Just as they're saying their goodbyes, a presence appears that's so heavy it feels like the air itself is being crushed, and it's definitely not a friendly visitor. It's the legendary Sword Emperor himself, and he's not alone. He's carrying someone who looks like they've been through a meat grinder, bringing the devastating news that the Sword King was brutally ambushed by the demonic faction. The war hasn't just started, it's already at their doorstep. We start with the Sword Emperor dropping some heavy news. Turns out the Sword King is currently out of commission after a brutal run-in with the demonic faction. He is not dead yet, but the man needs absolute rest unless he wants to meet his ancestors early. The details of the fight are straight-up nightmare fuel. These demonic faction bastards were basically using cheat codes. They were seemingly impervious to blades, standing back up even after being sliced and diced like it was nothing but a flesh wound. This is not just a random scrap. It is a full-blown crisis. Our boy describes it as some kind of dark spell or blade impervious technique that makes these guys impossible to kill. Even the Sword King could not handle the hacks. The Alliance leader is starting to sweat because top-tier masters like Moyang Chu and the Sword King are being picked off or going missing one by one. It is a systematic cleanup, and the good guys are losing their heavy hitters fast. Time to move the chess pieces. The Cloud Dragon Squad is sent out to play detective and find the enemy, while the White Dragon Squad is on babysitting duty for the tournament's rising talents. The demonic faction is playing a whole new game this time. Shift to a nearby inn where the vibes are surprisingly chill given the world is ending.
Chul Myungo is looking at Jin-Eon like he has grown a second head. Wondering why he told the alliance leader he used to run a literal gambling den.
Jin-Eon just shrugs it off like a boss. He explains that the alliance leader is actually a real one, telling him that if he can live a good life today, he does not need to dwell on his shady past. Honestly, we love a non-judgmental leader. Not to be outdone in the tragic backstory department, Wai Yunwal spills the tea on his own family. Turns out his ancestor was a nameless assassin who lived like a tool, killing when told and eating when told. Basically, a human Roomba for murder. The Wa clan only became a thing because the Wudong Sword Immortal decided to treat this nameless killer like a human being for once. He gave him a proper name and a reason to exist beyond just stabbing people for money. Imagine being over 20 years old and finally being called a person for the first time. That is the kind of trauma Yunwal carries, but he is not hiding it anymore. His story is long, dark, and definitely makes our gambling den owner look like a saint. This group is a literal collection of misfits. You have got a descendant of an assassin, a former gambling boss, and a merchant group's son all sharing drinks.
They realize that the best companions are the ones with the weirdest baggage.
Just as they are getting sentimental, Nam Gung-wai decides to crash the party. He is not here to fight, though. He is actually showing some rare character development, admitting that Jin-Eon totally held back during their match. Nam Gung-wai is being surprisingly humble, even if he is still a bit of a prick. He pays his wager and admits he stayed to watch the finals just to see how much of a monster Jin-Eon really is. He even asks for a rematch down the line. After dropping a massive bag of 30,000 Niang, Nam Gung-wai bounces. Now our duo is left bickering over the money and the rare gauntlets.
Jin-Eon is just trying to enjoy his expensive wine while Yunwal is doing math in his head.
The next day, the tournament is popping off. The crowd is hyped because they are about to see the Snow Phoenix, Wai Yunseal, face off against the legendary beauty of Jiangnan, Baekli Yun. It is basically a martial arts pageant with swords. The fight is intense, but Yunseal has an ace up her sleeve. She starts pulling out advanced body techniques that leave everyone, especially her opponent, absolutely stunned. Where did a girl like her learn moves that look this high level? Plot twist. She learned these moves from Jin-Eon back when she was just a kid. Watching from the sidelines, Jin-Eon is being a total critic, noting that her strikes are good but she is still hesitating. Tough love from the master, folks. We get a quick flashback to tiny Yunseal training her heart out. She did not forget a single thing he taught her. Even though she is a long way off from perfection, she is still dominating the stage and making the Jiangnan beauty look like an amateur. Jin-Eon decides he has seen enough and dips out early. He has got business to handle with the Ouyang clan and the Yunha merchant group. The man has gained a lot on this trip: 9th phase martial arts, poison immunity, and a pair of shiny gauntlets. As rumors of the tournament's shock winner spread like wildfire, Yunwal skips the boring awards ceremony. He is chasing down the real champion, proving that in this world of psychodukes and red flags, true friendship is the real OP skill.
The tournament crowd is still losing their minds over those body techniques.
It is not every day a nobody comes in and styles on the elite with moves they have never even seen. Yunseal is officially the new girl to watch out for. Jin-Eon is walking away from the chaos like a main character in a slow-motion movie. He is reflecting on how much he has leveled up. From poison resistance to his lightning art hitting the 9th phase, the man is becoming an absolute unit. Even with all the power, he still has to deal with the mundane stuff like documents and merchant group politics.
He left the Yunha group alone for too long, and it is time to go back and remind everyone who is actually running the show.
The trip into the Murim was a total success. He made new connections, saved some masters, and basically became a walking tank.
He is heading back with peace of mind, knowing he is finally strong enough to protect what is his.
Rumors are flying through the streets that the Snow Phoenix did not actually win the whole thing. Someone who does not even belong to the big associations took the top spot. The shock on people's faces is worth more than the 30,000 niang. The champion's name is being whispered everywhere, Baek Yak. Yunwal finally catches up to his friend under the moonlight, calling him champion with a smirk. The awards ceremony might be over, but the real legend is just getting started. We end with a mysterious beauty chasing down our protagonist. She skipped her own glory just to find him. Is this a new romance or a new threat? Either way, Jin-Eon just cannot seem to catch a break from all these high-tier women.